So I'm talking today about benefits because I've spent a lot of time in the last couple of months with families who have had a loved one who were diagnosed with cancer or had a heart attack or something in which they were going to be off work for an extended period of time. And I'm talking to you while I'm driving, and yeah, I'm paying attention to the road, so I won't be necessarily looking at the camera. But I do a lot of thinking while I'm driving, and I reflect on appointments in which I've held where circumstances have occurred that were beyond people's control, yet the most significant thing that happens over and over is the circumstances that caused the problem were beyond their control, but leading up to that event happening, there were other circumstances that were well within their control. But in each instance, marketing seems to come back and be the biggest determinant as to why they made the decisions they made. So I want to talk to you real quick today about benefits, group benefits, retirement benefits, because it seems to be that we get too caught up in terminology, in words that are put into our minds through marketing and through repetition, through persuasion. And let's take the term retirement benefit. Let's look at the word breakfast cereal. When you go to the grocery store, and I happened to go to a grocery store last night, and I went to the aisle where the cereal is, and it said breakfast foods. And quite often today, cereal is referred to as breakfast cereal, and that's been ingrained in our heads because that allows people to look for, what am I going to eat for breakfast that's quick, convenient, and perceived as healthy. Well, a couple weeks ago I had cereal for dinner and nothing happened. I was fine and healthy the next day, didn't get E. coli or anything crazy. Because even though I had breakfast cereal for dinner, we all know that breakfast cereal, the word breakfast is just thrown in there for marketing. It's thrown in there to sell our brains in the fact that through repetition, we think of cereal, we think of breakfast. So it helps to sell more cereal because it's a time of the day in which you want convenience, you want speed, and you want something that tastes good. And at the same time, mentally, you think it must be good because the box says fortified with vitamins and minerals. So think of that in terms of retirement benefits. You go to work or you go to get a new job and you think right off the bat, I have benefits, I have group benefits, I have retirement benefits. But let's break that word down a little bit. Benefit is derived from the word beneficial, right? It's a shorter version of the word beneficial. So if I have a benefit, I really want to break that down to what is the beneficial aspect of whatever it is that I have, that I contribute to, that I put into. And as I've been working with more and more teachers and people that have a 403B plan, that is a retirement account that can be ERISA or non-ERISA. In other words, it could be tied to the Employee Retirement Income Security Act or not, but oftentimes and typically it's in addition to a pension. So the employee has a pension and they have the option to put money into a 403B, which almost all the time is a tax-deferred account. So the first thing I would say is let's take a look at the word benefit and ask ourselves what's beneficial about that. Well, the people I've seen over the past couple of months that have 403B accounts, those folks, for one, well, all of them, since it's been the past couple of months, are in an extremely low tax environment because of the Tax Reduction Act of 2017. So we know for a fact we're in one of the most tax efficient times in our nation's history, especially with the standard deduction being double what it was in 2017. Let alone to mention that the tax brackets are much lower as well. So we really have to ask ourselves, if we have a 403B and that person representing the 403B plan is encouraging you to continue to contribute, and if you can contribute more, you should do that. Right off the get-go, that tells us, that's probably not a benefit, probably not a true benefit that's beneficial to us now or in the future. Because if I have any income that I am putting into savings, knowing that I'm in one of the lowest tax environments in history, I want to pay all the taxes I can on the money that I'm saving, so that in the future, as it grows, and then I get to the point in time in the future, I'm going to withdraw from those monies to call that money income for me in retirement. I don't want to have grown money that I did not pay taxes on and then take withdrawals in a much higher tax bracket, a much higher tax environment, because I will get penalized for that by losing a big chunk of that money to taxes. So what I want to do is, identify, is there a benefit? Am I putting money into a tax deferred account when I should be paying tax on that money? And really, I want to ask myself, this whole time that I've had this account and I've been tax deferring money, did I have kids? Did I have mortgage interest? Did I have property taxes? What did I have that I was getting a tax deduction? Did I have the earned income tax credits? Did I have child tax credits? If I had any of those things and I was getting natural tax deductions on my income, yet I was being encouraged to put money into a tax deferred account for retirement purposes, I might want to question whether or not that was a good idea, and whether or not that the advice being given there was truly beneficial for me, because it very likely was not. The next thing I want to look at is, what are the additional benefits provided by that account? In other words, what happens if I get sick and I can no longer contribute to that retirement account? Does that retirement account, does the company representing that now make those contributions on my behalf because of my disability? Case in point, I had a client recently get diagnosed with cancer and find out they're going to go through months and months and months of chemo and radiation and be out of work, and maybe out of work for an indefinite period of time. Well, the 403B plan they have doesn't have any disability contributions that are an additional benefit to the plan. So their contributions into their retirement, if their disability is extended, will come to a stop. Yeah, huge stress for that client, because they have to still plan for their retirement, because regardless, if they live long enough, they will get to the age which they have to retire. And the second question I would ask is, if you're putting into a 403B account, what other aspects does it have? Does it have a critical illness benefit component to it? Because in this case, that particular client has medical bills that they need to pay that they were not expecting to pay out of pocket. I prefer to teach my clients about additional retirement savings accounts that are not tied to their work, that have a low cost structure, a very significant return, and such that have additional riders components to them that do other things, like pay for if you become disabled, we'll make the contributions, the premium payments for you. That if you get disabled, will pay you a lump sum of money, a considerable lump sum, that will help you defray expenses and things like that, or help make up for a lower paycheck. Disability payments typically from a company are about 40 to 60% of your typical pay. So those are the kind of things I want my clients to look at. And if you find yourself saying, boy, this sounds like me, I've got a 403B, but it doesn't have these benefits, and quite frankly, it's tax deferred, I don't know that I want to be tax deferring money, and has some pretty high fees to it. But anytime I talk to the advisor representing it, I get a bunch of responses such as, you're doing a great job, maybe you can put some more money into it, think about your future, and I don't know, what you're saying sounds really familiar. Boy, I want to talk to you more about what other options there are. because I also want my clients to look at plans that they can access while they're still working. And there are absolutely plans, and again, it's marketing. It's not a group retirement plan perhaps that you would be looking at, but rather plans that give you more leverage, give you more accessibility, more liquidity, and most importantly, when something unforeseen happens, has components and aspects to it that give you additional protection that most likely you would absolutely want to have. It doesn't. Most people tell me I'm not concerned about that until I need to be concerned about it. But at the time when I need to be concerned about it, it's too late. So, if you find yourself saying, "Boy, this sounds really familiar," I feel like you're talking about me. It might be because that's the situation you find yourself in, that you feel like you're wedged into a plan like that or a situation like that, and you want to know what your options are. What we do is we teach our clients, and we do a terrific amount of educating, and then when they want to know what other options exist, we do an analysis, typically a financial planning analysis, that allows them to see and better understand what they have, what it means, and what some alternatives could be. It helps you make a better educated decision on what strategies you should be using versus what you know about, and so that's why you're using it. So hope you found this helpful, and if we can help you further, please check out our website at safemoneypartners.com. SAFE, safemoneypartners.com. Have a great day.